Hello, my name is Catherine McCauley and I am the Early Help Coordinator linked to Southfield School. I'm here to talk about early help, specifically early help at level 2. You'll see as we go through this presentation that there are actually a couple of levels to early help. So I'm hoping that by the end of this session, you'll understand why you need to know about early help, what early help is. I'm hoping that you'll also become familiar with Family Hubs, which is Bradford's offer for early help. You'll understand a little bit about the continuum of need. Some of you will already know a great deal about that, but I just want to put it into context in terms of early help. And you'll also know how you can get help for people. So why do you need to know about early help? You will be familiar with the Keeping Children Safe in Education document. This was updated and came statutory at the beginning of September. And as you're aware, it outlines the legal duties and responsibilities of schools and colleges to safeguard and promote the welfare of children and young people. I'm not going to go into great detail about this document because your DSLs will talk you through that. But the important part of that document is part 1, which is about safeguarding information for all staff. Basically, what you need to know what you need to know as a member of staff to keep children safe. The key part of that document, which relates to early help, is in part 1, and it says all staff should be prepared to identify children who may benefit from early help. So in order to know, in order to be able to identify children, you need to know what early help is so that you can then meet your statutory duties of identifying children who would benefit from that help. And there's a picture of the document there. The other reason why you need to know about early help is this document, Working Together to Safeguard Children. This document is 2018, although it is currently being updated. This document, if you are not aware of it, is all about working together. It's a statutory document about interagency working to promote the welfare of children. What it says in that document is that everyone who works with children has a responsibility for keeping them safe, and that providing early help is more effective in promoting the welfare of children than reacting later. So if you want to step in to help people earlier, then you need to know what early help is. So what is early help? This statement is taken straight from that Working Together document. So I'm just going to read this as an example of what it is. So early help means providing support as soon as a problem emerges at any point in a child's life, from the foundation years through to the teenage years. So basically, anybody who is providing support to a family before they go into crisis is providing early help. So schools who are providing food parcels, who are signposting to food banks, that is early help. You are providing early help. In Bradford, early help is supported through the Family Hubs, and this is the structure of the Family Hubs. Basically, there are 4 hubs across the district: West, South, East and Keighley and Shipley, and each of those hubs works in the same way. They have a hub manager. There are 3 early help coordinators, that's myself. There are 2 family navigators. There is a parenting team. There is a team of business support officers, and there is a family support team. And these teams of people all work together to support in providing early help. And this is some of the support that is provided. I'm not going to read it out. You can see that for yourselves, but you can see that lots and lots of different services all work together within the Family Hub to provide early help to families. There are two family hubs in South. One based at the Reevy Hill Family Hub on Bedale Drive, that's in Buttershaw, and the other one is based at the TFD Centre on Broadstones Way, which is in Homewood. However, they both have the same telephone number and they both have the same email. So if you want to contact either of those, just use that central number and then you'll be put through to the right centre. So the roles within the Family Hub. So obviously the hub manager oversees the running of the hub, make sure that everything is running smoothly and is coordinating the services there. The early help coordinator, that's myself. So my role is to advise and support the lead practitioner. So the person who is working with the family, and I would advise on the different services that can be used to support that family. The family navigators are the first point of contact in the Family Hub. So they work on very low level support, practical support and signposting. So it might be that they might support a family by taking them to a particular service because they don't feel confident in going themselves, or they might just signpost them to a service or refer them on to a service. So it's very, very low level support, or they might help them fill out forms, very, very low level support. The parenting team deliver the parenting programs. We run a wide range of parenting programs that help support parents in lots of different ways, and I'll talk a little bit more about those a bit later on. And then there is the family support team. They are the team who work intensively with a family that signposting is not going to meet their needs. They need somebody in the home who is going to handhold them, do an assessment on the family to find out exactly what their needs are, and then they will work with the family in the home, seeing them every week to try and help them through the issues that they're currently dealing with. And they will generally work with the family for up to 6 months. So here is the continuum of need. So I just wanted to show you how early help fits into the continuum of need. Some of you will be very familiar with this and be aware that obviously there's 4 levels. Level 1 is the lowest level, and that's where a family's needs can be met universally. So a doctor, a dentist, a health visitor, all those services that people access without having to make a referral anywhere. It's open to everybody. At the other end of the scale is level 4, and that's where you've got your statutory child protection procedures, and social care will be involved with that family. Sitting in the middle there is early help. And as I mentioned earlier, early help has 2 levels to it, level 2 and level 3. Level 3 is those family support workers that I've just mentioned. And to access a family support worker, you would ring the integrated front door, have a discussion about the family, and then they would decide whether it was level 2 or level 3. If it was level 3, they would request a family support worker to work intensively with the family. And that's generally a family that's got quite complex needs. If the person at the integrated front door decided it wasn't level 3, it was actually early help at level 2. That's where they would ask for the person who's rung in to do an early help assessment. And that's where my role would fit in supporting you to complete that assessment. The family's needs aren't quite as complex. They don't need somebody in the home with them. They just need referrals to different services, maybe a number of referrals, but it's just referrals that they perhaps need. And that's the level 2 early help. So just to give you a little bit more detail about my role. So early help coordinators, there, as you saw in the Family Hub structure, there are 3 in each Family Hub. We are each allocated a number of schools that we work with, and that's so that school has a contact that they know they can turn to if they want any advice or support on anything to do with early help. And as I've said, my role is to advise and support the lead practitioner. We don't work directly with families. We are there to support the person who is supporting the family. Obviously, there are times when we will come into contact with family if we're supporting the lead practitioner, and that could be when we're helping the lead practitioner to write an early help assessment, for example. We might be there in the meeting with the lead practitioner, and that's where we might meet the family. We support the lead practitioner to find out what kind of support can be offered to the family at level 2 on the continuum of need. We might liaise with different services, the services that are currently involved with the family. If the lead practitioner is struggling to make contact or is struggling to find out who's involved with that family, we can support the lead practitioner there. My role is also to follow up with different services. So a lead practitioner may refer to a service, but then not hear anything back. And I might be able to step in and support and finding out what's happened to that referral. Once a lead practitioner is involved, we do ask them just to touch base with the family and find out how things are going. And that would be through completing a team around the family review. That may not be a lot of people around the table, that may just be phone calls. And again, that is something that I would support with as well. I've mentioned the lead practitioner quite a bit there. So what exactly is the lead practitioner? And I'm just going to read this first bullet point because it's taken directly from Working Together. So the lead practitioner is the named professional identified as the person who will be the family's main point of contact while they need a coordinated early help package of support at a lower level of need. And this is usually the professional working most closely to the family. So it's the person who is working with the family, who is doing referrals, who is supporting the family. That is the lead practitioner. The Working Together document does state that any professional who is working with the family can take on the lead practitioner role. And there in that second bullet point, it gives you some examples of who could be a lead practitioner. In school, however, it does often tend to be a member of the safeguarding team. And it's important to remember that decisions about who should be the lead practitioner should be taken on a case-by-case basis, because the person who is working with one family may not be the best person to work with another family. So what early help support is available through our family hubs? I'm not going to read this list out because you can read that for yourselves. What I will do is just point out some of the, I will just go into a little bit detail about some of the things that we can support you with. SEN support is quite a big area for us at the moment. We're getting a lot of assessments in where special needs is quite an issue, we have got access to a range of services that we could support or signpost a family to. I mentioned the parenting programs earlier. Generally, parents who are struggling to manage the behaviour of their children, we would suggest a parenting programme. Our most popular is the Family Links with Additional Needs. That looks at putting in routines and boundaries, looks at rewards and sanctions. And it's also about parents meeting together and finding out that they're not on their own, that there are other parents who are experiencing very similar issues, and sometimes that in itself can be a real support for a parent. The programs are usually about 10 to 12 weeks long. We have one that's specifically for parents of teenagers. That's called Talking Teens. We have one that's specifically for single dads who are struggling with their behaviour called Time Out for Dads. We have one that addresses exploitation, which is called the DICE programme. I'll show you at the end of this presentation how you can access information for those programmes. We work very closely with DWP, and there is a person who is specifically employed to work with early help, and he can support families in finding work, as right from writing CVs to going through the interview process, to training if they're not quite sure what they want to do. They also have access to a little pot of money. So they've helped people in the past by giving them a mobile phone so that they can make calls, so that they can follow up on emails, providing them with clothing for interviews. So they really are a very good service, and they can do a benefit check to make sure that the family is getting everything that they're entitled to. Mental health is a big issue at the moment, so we are aware of lots and lots of different services that we can signpost families to for mental health support for adults and for children. We also have a team of people called the family aid workers, not to be confused with the family support workers at level 3. So the family aid workers would work on a practical issue in the home, and it would be an issue that's identified by the family and the lead practitioner, just one issue. So it might be that a child is, their attendance is poor, and it's because they're struggling to get up in the morning. So a family aid worker would go in to look at the morning routines and make some suggestions on what can be put in place to support that young person so that they develop a good morning routine and they can get up, get washed, get dressed, have breakfast, and be at school on time, or be ready for the taxi that's coming for them, or however they get to school. But the family aid worker just works on one task that is identified by the lead practitioner. We also work with the family support police officers. So if the young person is displaying low-level criminal activity within the community, the family support police officers will support the family. There's quite a few things on that list. However, if a family's need is not on that list, just give me a call, and my role would be to support you by looking at what is available out there, what early help support can be provided for that family. So if it's not there, just give me a call and we'll see what we can do. So this is an example of a success story in terms of how early help worked for this family. I'm not going to read it out because you can read it for yourself, but just in summary, it was linked to a 12-year-old boy. Her mum was struggling with behaviour. It was impacting on her mental health. Mum rang school, we had a discussion, we met with the family, we put some actions into place for that family. And in the end, Mum learnt some new strategies to manage her child's behaviour. Mum got some respite through the specialist inclusion programme. Carers Resource were involved in supporting Mum with her mental health, and DWP helped in finding work. But I'll let you read through that in a little bit more detail at your own time. So what can you do to get further early help support for families? So there is the Families and Young Persons Information Service, and there's a little logo at the top. So this is open to everybody. You log on to this website and you can type in what it is you're looking for, what support you would like, and it will provide you with a list of different services that you can access for a family. Bradford Schools Online, if you go onto that site, you don't need a not the login, just the homepage that everybody can access. And down the left-hand side, you'll find prevention and early help. And there's a little bit more information about the service there. There is also our lead practitioner toolkit, which again is available on Bradford Schools Online. So this is a paper copy, or you could print it out and have it as a paper copy, should I say. It is split up into different sections. So if somebody comes to you and they're struggling with finances, there's a section on managing debt. If they come to you struggling because they haven't got a fridge or their freezer's broken, there's a section on how you can find white goods for families. There's about mental health. So there's all sorts of different sections that we feel that families may come to you to talk about. So it's just a quick guide for you if you want to provide that very quick support. And then there is the quick guide to parenting. So this tells you all those courses that I very briefly mentioned. That's available on Bradford Schools Online. You can also access it on the Families and Young People's Information Service. If you just go to the section that says Parenting Programmes and click on there, and it provides you with the list. And there's also the referral form on there as well, so you do it online. So how can I get help? What do you need to do if you come across a family that's needing early help? So what you need to do is you need to contact one of your designated safeguarding leads in school, and they will have a discussion with you about the family, and then they will decide what's the best course of action for that family. And if need be, they may contact me if they need any further support in finding support for that family. So I hope that that's given you a very brief overview of early help, and you understand it in a little bit. You understand the concept a little bit more. I look forward to any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.